Hey, so I just saw this update on Smart News that federal judge. Let's flip it around. Um, okay, so apparently iPhones are a little different than. Anyway, a federal judge orders that the individual at hand who attempted to assassinate Donald Trump, which he provenly only was charged apparently with having illegal firearms. He's the suspect of the attempt of assassination. So he has just been told on this happened at 3:29 today, that he will not be released. I say good, like absolutely good. Just because I'm a Second Amendment gun owner and there are many other Second Amendment owners, we as a whole, which I can speak from a newer generation because I didn't grow up as a gun owner. My mother was against guns, and my family knows this. Why did I get a gun? Well, I moved to Florida, and we live in a spotty area. And take it from me, who lives with a very, very mentally unwell individual who drinks excessively, over 12 beers a day, sometimes 13, 14, 15, sometimes 16 beers a day on a regular basis, who is dangerous when he's sober, dangerous when he's not drunk, is menacing, threatening. Thankfully, he's on his way out. He's only got 8 days. Today's his 8th day. I don't share personal details because I respect a person enough to not, as much as that person doesn't respect me. I mean, in my last video, I just clearly pointed out how he got a sick enjoyment calling my local Melbourne police department, having them come to my house, okay, and make up a false allegation claim that I pulled my firearm on him. Now, back on the subject, more importantly, and to what he did therefore after, was confess not just once, but twice, that he liked the fact that the deputies that showed up here, the sheriff, the sergeant who came here, was pointing their gun at me. He liked it. He liked it. That's a sick, messed up individual. That's a twisted, sick person. Who would do that? I'm the homeowner. I've offered a place of stay. This person I've allowed to apparently just walk all over me because I'm nice enough and decent enough not to get in a fight with him, not to engage with him, to avoid him, to record aggression that he displays toward me. Everything I've recorded has only ever been submitted on private unlisted videos that are only shared with my closest friends that know about this, or released to, and which only to my attorney's office. He himself has undone himself. He went on a 21-minute rant back on September 3rd, threatening me, gaslighting me in front of both of my tenants. My tenants saw all of this. This guy is unhinged. He's nuts. He actually told me back on, it was, I think it was early September. He's, yeah, well, it was early September. Um, it was before we got to the end of the month, proceeded. No, walking back, rephrasing this. Haha. uh, Early August, he told me he was happy. That was the second time. The first time he told me that he was thrilled in an argumentative, condescending tone as he spoke to me about uh, about the incident where he had called the cops and told them that I pulled a gun on him, and he really enjoyed this. I didn't take it that seriously then, but when he later then emphasized the sergeant's name that was pointing the gun and tried to make it sound like he knew what he was watching in that incident when they had their guns drawn on me, that he was getting off on this, he was excited, that's how you know this guy hates me. I've had somebody who I've talked to tell me, a person who's going through a lot of mental health problems, who drinks a lot, sometimes they self-destruct inside and they take it out on the closest person next to them. No, he actually hates my guts because he's miserable with his own life. He's the type of person where misery loves company. He tries to drag down everybody around him. And me, I've been almost nearly caught in this misery draft, but I've stood up and I've defended myself. And even with all the threats that he said that he's going to take me to court, he's going to destroy my life, his family's going to destroy me, I didn't quaver and I haven't broken from those moments. And even in incidences which I knew why he did what he did the day when he claimed I pulled a gun, it's because he knew I'm a Second Amendment proud gun owner and he knew I carried a gun. The first time when he called them, he claimed that he had known about me having the gun on me, but he didn't go and outright admit that to the cops. No, he kept it hidden and said that I didn't have it concealed. It was sticking out. And when they came up on, they tried to make it seem as if almost as if I wasn't concealing it. Okay, one instance, my pants went down a little bit and a little bit of the butt was sticking out. I wasn't doing anything. I was just walking and my firearm was half cocked with the handle sticking out, and I got blasted because I don't have a holster. Well, it's concealed carry. I can carry it under my shirt with a big enough shirt. That's what this shirt is. It's big enough, and that's why I got this shirt. It's long, it's extensive, it goes past the hips and the waist, and I don't wear my pants sagging down. Now, back on the subject to this sick individual, we talk about the reality of assassinations against former President Donald Trump. It doesn't embolden or enrich anything that's good in this country. It just proves we have a lot of people with mental health problems, and every person trying to kill Donald Trump is sick in the head. If you're thinking about trying to commit an assassination or murder somebody, you need mental help. You need to turn over whatever weapons you have, turn them into the police, and submit yourself for mental health rehabilitation. You don't need to own a firearm. You don't need to have a gun. You're a danger to yourself and everyone else. And quite frankly, as somebody who's been through despair and depression, and I've never contemplated once ever doing such physical harm or hurting myself in such a way, I'll admit it. I mean, I've had some dark moments in my life. I've lost a lot of loved ones. I've had people push me over the brink, but this guy, he's never caused me to feel like I had to surrender to the chasm of despair and depression. His anger and his hatred have only enriched my empathy and my understanding that there are people out there that are suffering far worse than you can reach out to help them, and there's nothing you can do. He boasted on the day when he did his rant, of his 24-minute rant, or 21 minutes, 44 seconds. He boasted that he was proud of how much he drank and that he was going to drink absurd amounts of beer. I mean, he emphasized from the amounts that I confessed that he had done, which I have him at drinking over 2,000 gallons. He boasted that at that time, and this was back on September 3rd, he boasted that he had drank 2,500, and that by the next month, again, fear-mongeringly gaslighting me, telling me he's going to basically drink 5,000 gallons. Or actually, no, he started off with 4,500 and then went to 5,000. He even gaslit the fact that he was going to try to drag me out and basically put a continuance in and throw me into the court system and drag this out and spend his whole time sitting here, camping here, and basically not paying me. He didn't outright say he wasn't going to pay me, but he basically made a very clear point that he was just going to have his stuff sitting here. He was going to go on a continuance, file a continuance with the courts. He was going to drag stuff out. Well, I served him plenty of letters, and I gave him plenty of ample heads up. I did a lot of stuff my attorney told me I didn't have to do, but I did it because I'm a decent, sensible, respectful person. I don't deserve this. I don't even have kids yet. And you know what? For all the people in my recent comments that have blasted me for looking like I'm trying to have kids and rushing to have children, you guys don't know me. The only thing you know about me is what I've shared with you on my recent posts and my recent videos. You don't actually know the real me. Just because I've admitted I'm a demisexual person, okay, so what? So if you don't know what demisexual is again, it's a person that needs a deep sensual connection and a bond before a relationship can be formed, before any physical contact can be formed. Most people actually today can relate to that. I think a lot of people would say that they're not the type to just sleep around. So maybe they're demisexual. The unique part about demisexual person is also somebody who can identify a part with the LGBT community, because demisexual people can also see love, partnership, and likable traits in somebody regardless of gender. Me, I cannot get into guys. I'm not into men. I'm only into women. And it's interesting because I was raised by lesbians. You would have thought that maybe I would have had an inclination to be interested into maybe guys because there was too much female estrogen in my life. No. Maybe I became too feminist and I grew into this mold of a shell of a man who can't trust guys, and I don't like men, so I'm only into women. No. I actually have found that people have always written me off and have always misunderstood me. I'm an old soul. I love old music, but I'm not even going to be able to tell you how much of that there is because you don't know me. You want to be my friend? That's fine. You want to get to know me? That's fine. Why do I make these videos? Why do I upload? It's about sharing awareness. Younger generations every day rely on watching YouTube and watching videos of senseless violence, senseless crime, horrible acts people do to each other, even wonderful channels out there that I stand by and I support, like Cinnamon Toast Ken and Buff Pro. I stand by them every single day. I'm a subscriber. I'm proud. I can't afford to pay for a YouTube subscription. I'm totally proud of what they do. The legend, PewdiePie. Mr. PewdiePie, a legend, okay, legend, all right? Mr. Beast, an even bigger legend for what he's doing. He's actually contributing and helping struggling tribes and people in Africa. getting into the water ducts and tapping in to help people, and he's even asking people to donate. I wish I could afford to, but I'm up to my eyeballs in debt, and I can't afford to give that, but at least he's out there doing something and contributing. There's famous millionaires out there doing good deeds like Taylor Swift. I've been a Taylor Swift fan ever since I was probably, I don't know, at least literally 17, 16. She's been alive since I've been alive. You know, it's funny, me and Taylor Swift share the same birth year, and I'm only 10 days older than Taylor Swift. Freaking awesome. And she's out there every day fighting for women's rights, fighting for those who are struggling, fighting for even men. She even stands up for men. So she's not just only about the women. And some of her songs are sometimes gender neutral. So Miss Taylor Swift is not just about herself. And Mr. Trump's hate against her and all this inflammation and what he may try to push on these fear-mongering aspects of everything that's going wrong with him, Mr. Trump, you did it to yourself. And if you're running right now, you're running based on the merits that you face the fact that you will concede and you will lose. Because it's not because Kamala and Waltz able to get in because of some unfair advantage. It's not because there's less voters who care more or less about these issues. It's because we want to see a future where we go forward. And people like me, with what I'm dealing with right now in this society, there are many other people out there struggling with worse situations. And I'm just grateful nothing has turned physical. Even though I know the person that I live with, that I rent to, that I gave tithing to my house and shared it, even though I've got a wonderful home, I love to share it with a partner and love to have a connection, I'll be lucky to find that right now. Because a lot of people don't have time to sit down and connect. Dealing with the fact that relationships you go through, even as a landlord like myself, when you go through something like an eviction, it's very close to a divorce, except there's no split money. And you're not splitting up with the person in the context that you're breaking apart from a relationship where you were that close. No, but your house is the subject risk factor that takes the blow. It can be the bedroom, it could be the doors, it could be the toilet, the plumbing, it could be the carpet, it could be your electric bill. This person loves to waste electricity, repeating drying loads because it's too drunk to know if it's dry, and repeating it over and over again, running excessive hot water for long extended periods of time, repeatedly taking excessive amounts of showers, and even for a guy, that's bad. And this dude's almost 50. Don't need to tell you his exact age, but you can guess what I'm getting at. He's really this close to turning 50. Yeah. So you already know his age. Yeah. Anyway, point is, the reality of all this is that I'm 34. I don't even have children. I haven't gone to war, but I am not against those who fight and defend for our country. I stand by because I have family. I have a family member who's served. He's gone overseas. He's fought in the war. I've got friends and I know people who were forced to go to fight for the war in Ukraine. So, you know, the whole reality is we're all interconnected as a species, as a race, as mankind, and people like Taylor Swift, who is fighting the good fight and taking her fight now against Donald Trump, even apart from the fact that, as it was publicly posted, that a federal judge just said to this Trump assassination attempt individual, you are not getting out. You are going to stay behind bars. I say good. Absolutely good. We don't need people like that. And anybody else out there who's planning to do harm, inappropriately hurt someone that they love, or for the most invaluable and unforgivable sin of all, to do wrongful acts against minors, children. I go back on the subject of Cinnamon Toast Ken. He is a family dad. He's got a little girl, and he's in Australia now. He moved all the way to Australia. His best friend, Buff Pro, is all the way back where they live. Okay, I think it's in Arkansas. Not quite sure, but pretty sure. Close. Maybe I got it wrong. I'm not going to say I'm right. I'm probably wrong. Maybe I got it right. I don't know. Anyway, he always does videos on Catch a Predator, the dating show, what is it, 90 Day Fiancé, and I am always admiring the fact that a father who's putting his personal touch on the internet, Cinnamon Toast Ken, shout out to you, man. I love you, and I love you in a respectful, mutual way, out of mankind, that you put your views out there and you tell it like it is. The fact that you're sick and tired of seeing these perverts and these pedophiles and these sickos and how dumb they are to keep sending themselves on to, and Buff Pro, totally with you, and everybody else, tase them, tase them, tase the sickos, absolutely tase them. So, you know, the fact is, we have to keep living in a society where we're exposed to this. But the good thing is there are good people at work doing good. Everybody from famous pop star Taylor Swift to Mr. Beast out there putting wells down in Africa. If you didn't know that, yes, he's doing that. And God bless him. God bless him. Those people don't have clean drinking water. They're still living in third world living conditions. And I hope Mr. Beast goes even further, because even though he's asking for basic donations, it is what it is. And as for those who have attempted to harm or assassinate our former felon, President Donald Trump. The truth of the matter is we are going forward toward a future for our kids. And even if you're a gun owner, and even if you believe in values like this, and you're a libertarian like myself who believes in smaller government, less government, I don't hate liberals. I don't hate anybody. I don't have time to waste my time with hate. It's about moving forward with a future and seeing a better future for our children. And even though I don't have kids to raise on my own, you better believe, if I ever get a chance to raise kids, have kids, they're going to be singing more than It's a Hard Knock Life by Little Annie and chorused, okay? Now, and I mean that in the sense that maybe I'll get my own chorus group together and I'll inspire some kids and I'll get them to run and maybe pursue to inspire them to be leaders and better politicians. And if they don't want to do that, they can be teachers, lawyers, doctors, litigation, defense attorneys, counselors, whatever it may be. That's the kind of help our country needs. That's what America needs right now. It needs people doing the good work, the hard work, the fight, because that's where the people struggling at the most to barely afford what they need, battling with everything from depression, drugs, opioids especially. That's a massive problem in this country, heartbreaking as it is. Sexual diseases, anything of which that can affect us. That's what we really need to think about when we talk about those who are out of touch with where we are as Americans, when we turn our vote to vote for somebody who wouldn't think a second of who you are and wouldn't even meet you in real life. I would, even if I got to be rich, even if I got to be famous. Money, it's just a tool. I've always been a big believer in that, and I aim to put that to use and really show what can be done with the good use of money, because money is not the root of evil. People can certainly misuse it, mishandle it, and that's exactly what's been shown in politics, in leadership, even in positions of power. I'm the type of person, I don't want to be president. I don't even want to do anything to overrule anybody else's life. I just want to be out there to make a change and make a difference and do good. Not because Obama said it, but because he did have a good point when he was running for president. And now it's time for us to make our chances and make our changes, and us to make the vote count. I vote Kamala and Waltz for 2024. You can judge me all you want, but I'm not going to be backpedaling and fear-mongering and living in a future where I haven't realized that even Donald Trump has finally admitted if he loses, he will not be running again. And if you guys can't realize that he has also found out that reality has come for him, it's the reality that he realizes it's not these assassination attempts that are almost on his life. It's the fact that he realizes it's just not worth it. And his time and what he's done, he better just start healing his family. Because I may realize one thing, all the hate that his family receives after everything he goes through, they're people too. Even if they may not be your friend at the dinner table, they don't care what you're going through, they're human beings too. Even the worst of us, the most vile of us, they're all humans. Now, child predators, they need to get, they need to get served the rightful justice that they deserve. Abusers, same thing. Yep. But even still, humanity needs to be done in a right way when punishing those who have done the worst crimes, because we can show that we have more compassion to treat others who are the most inhuman with the better merits than to turn to evil. If I was somebody who was evil, I certainly wouldn't try to hurt others. I would try to help others and stop those with the good merits of what they do, which means let's not destroy lives. Let's help lives. Let's not ignore people's stories and stop thinking only of ourselves. Let's do what we can, do the best that we can, and make a difference. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Signing out.